Isabella's perfect dream. Isabella stood before the mirror in her white wedding dress. The silk felt soft against her skin. Pearls decorated the bodice. Her dark hair was pulled back with fresh roses. Today was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. Today she would marry Marcus Thornfield, the man she had loved for 3 years. "You look beautiful," her mother said coldly from the doorway, but her eyes showed no warmth, no pride, just duty. Isabella smiled anyway. She had learned long ago that her mother saved real love for Isabella's younger sister Victoria. Victoria was the golden child. Perfect blonde hair. Perfect blue eyes. Perfect everything. Isabella was just adequate. Brown hair, brown eyes, a simple face. But Marcus had chosen her. That had to mean something. "Is Marcus here yet?" Isabella asked nervously. Her mother's lips pressed into a thin line. "He is waiting at the church. Hurry up. We cannot be late." #####. The Church of Broken Promises. The church was full of people. Hundreds of guests. Marcus's family was wealthy and powerful. They owned half the businesses in the city. Isabella's family was comfortable but nothing compared to the Thornfields. She walked down the aisle alone. Her father had refused to give her away. "You should be grateful Marcus even wants you," he had said. Marcus stood at the altar. Tall, handsome, with golden hair and cold green eyes. He did not smile when he saw her. Isabella's heart sank a little. Maybe he was just nervous. The priest began the ceremony. "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today." Isabella barely heard the words. She was too focused on Marcus's face. He looked distant, uncomfortable, like he wanted to be anywhere else. "If anyone objects to this union, speak now or forever hold your peace." Silence filled the church. Isabella breathed a sigh of relief. Then Marcus spoke. "I object." ##### The public humiliation. The church erupted in shocked whispers. Isabella felt the world spin around her. "What?" she whispered. Marcus pulled his hand away from hers. "I cannot marry you, Isabella. I never could." Tears filled her eyes. "Marcus, please. What are you saying?" "I am saying this was all a mistake. A cruel joke, really." Marcus's voice was loud, clear. Everyone could hear. "Did you really think someone like me would marry someone like you?" Isabella felt her legs shaking. "But you said you loved me. 3 years, Marcus. 3 years together." "3 years of a bet," Marcus said coldly. "My friends bet me I could not make the plain girl fall in love with me. You were so easy, Isabella. So desperate for love. You believed every lie." Laughter. Someone in the crowd was laughing. Isabella looked around. Victoria sat in the front row, smiling. Her mother showed no emotion. Her father looked away, ashamed not of Marcus but of her. "Why?" Isabella's voice broke. "Why would you do this?" Marcus leaned closer. "Because people like you need to remember your place. You were never good enough for me. You will never be good enough for anyone." #####. Cast into the storm. Isabella ran. She lifted her dress and ran out of the church. Behind her, she heard more laughter. Cruel, mocking laughter. Rain poured from the sky. Her wedding dress became heavy with water. Her shoes slipped on wet stones. She ran to her parents' house. Maybe they would comfort her. Maybe they would help her understand. She burst through the door soaking wet, mascara running down her face. Her father sat in his chair reading the newspaper. Her mother was having tea. Victoria sat on the sofa, smiling that terrible smile. "Father, please," Isabella sobbed. "Did you know? Did you know what Marcus was doing?" Her father did not look up from his paper. "Of course we knew." Isabella's heart shattered into a million pieces. "What?" Her mother set down her teacup. "Isabella, you were always the disappointment. We tried to love you. We truly did. But you were so ordinary. When Marcus approached us with his plan, we thought it might teach you a lesson." "A lesson?" Isabella could barely breathe. "You let him humiliate me? You let him destroy me? You needed to understand your place in this world," her father said calmly. "You were getting ideas above your station, thinking you deserved happiness, thinking you deserved love." Victoria laughed. A tinkling pretty laugh. Oh, Isabella, you should have seen your face at the altar. It was priceless. Marcus and I have been planning this for months. You. Isabella turned to her sister. You were part of this? Of course, Victoria said. Marcus is mine now. He always was. You were just practice. A joke. Something to laugh about at parties. Isabella felt something break inside her. Not just her heart. Her soul. Her entire being. Get out, her mother said suddenly. You are an embarrassment to this family. You always have been. Where am I supposed to go? Isabella whispered. Her father finally looked at her. His eyes were empty. That is not our problem anymore. You are not our daughter. Not after today. ####the dark road. Isabella walked out into the storm. She had nowhere to go. No friends. Marcus had made sure she pushed everyone away over the years. He had isolated her perfectly. She walked through the city. People stared at the girl in the soaking wedding dress. Some laughed. Some pointed. No one helped. Night fell. The rain grew heavier. Isabella walked toward the edge of the city, toward the dangerous part where streetlights did not reach. She did not care anymore. Death might be kinder than this pain. Her foot caught on a broken stone. She fell hard. Her hands scraped against the ground. Blood mixed with rain. She tried to stand, but her legs would not work. The cold was seeping into her bones, making her sleepy. Just let me die, she whispered to the dark sky. Please, just let this end. Her eyes closed. The rain fell harder. She felt herself fading away. Then she heard footsteps. Heavy boots on wet stone. A voice deep and concerned. Miss? Miss, are you alive? Strong hands lifted her up. Isabella tried to open her eyes, but everything was blurry. She saw a man's face. Dark hair. Concerned eyes. A scar running down his left cheek. I have got you, the man said. You are safe now. Stay with me. Let me die, Isabella whispered. No, the man said firmly. I will not let another innocent person die. Not while I can prevent it. Isabella felt herself being carried. The rain stopped hitting her face. She was inside somewhere. Warm. Dry. Safe. Then darkness took her completely. ####, waking up in strange place. Isabella woke to the smell of bread and coffee. Her body ached everywhere. She was in a bed. Clean sheets. A warm blanket. Soft pillows. This was not her room. Where was she? She sat up slowly. Her wedding dress was gone. She wore a simple cotton nightgown. Her hair was dry and brushed. Someone had cleaned her wounds and bandaged them. The room was small but clean. A fireplace burned in the corner. Books lined one wall. A simple chair sat by the window. Morning light streamed through the glass. The door opened. The man from last night entered carrying a tray. In daylight, Isabella could see him better. He was maybe 30 years old. Tall and strong. Dark hair fell over his forehead. That scar on his cheek made him look dangerous. But his eyes were kind. You are awake, he said, setting down the tray. How do you feel? Like I want to die, Isabella said honestly. The man nodded. I understand that feeling. But you did not die. You are here. That means something. Who are you? Isabella asked. My name is Adrian Blackwood, he said. And you are? Nobody, Isabella whispered. I am nobody. Adrian sat in the chair by the window. Everyone is somebody. You were wearing a wedding dress last night. Quite a story there, I imagine. Tears filled Isabella's eyes again. The worst story. The most humiliating story. You do not have to tell me, Adrian said gently. But sometimes talking helps the pain. So Isabella told him everything. About Marcus. About the bet. About her family's betrayal. About Victoria's cruelty. She cried through most of it. Adrian listened quietly. He did not interrupt. Did not judge. Just listened. When she finished, Adrian was quiet for a long moment. That is evil, he said finally. What they did to you is pure evil. I deserved it, Isabella said. I was stupid. I believed lies. No, Adrian's voice was firm. Believing in love is not stupid. Trusting people is not stupid. They are the ones at fault. Not you. Isabella looked at him. Why did you save me? You do not even know me. Adrian's hand touched his scar. Because once I needed saving too. And someone saved me. I am just passing on the kindness. #### the mysterious savior. For the next few days, Isabella stayed in Adrian's small house. She learned he lived alone on the edge of the city. He worked as a blacksmith, making horseshoes, gates, tools. His hands were scarred from years of work. Why do you live out here alone? Isabella asked one morning. Adrian was quiet for a moment. Because I am hiding from my past. What past? He looked at her with those kind but sad eyes. A painful one. Like yours. Maybe one day I will tell you the full story. Isabella noticed things about Adrian. He was educated. His books were expensive. Philosophy, history, poetry. His manners were refined. The way he spoke suggested nobility. But he worked as a simple blacksmith. You are not what you seem, Isabella said one evening. Adrian smiled slightly. Neither are you. You think you are nobody. But I see strength in you. Courage. You survived something that would break most people. I do not feel strong. Strength is not what you feel, Adrian said. It is what you do despite what you feel. You woke up. You ate. You are still breathing. That is strength. Isabella felt something shift inside her. A tiny spark. Maybe, just maybe, she did not have to stay broken forever. #### the first step forward. 1 week after the wedding disaster, Isabella made a decision. She was standing in Adrian's workshop, watching him work the forge. The fire glowed red and orange. The hammer rang against hot metal. Teach me, she said suddenly. Adrian looked up. Teach you what? Everything. Teach me to be strong. Teach me to survive. Teach me to be someone new. Adrian studied her face. Why? Because I am tired of being weak, Isabella said. I am tired of being the victim. They destroyed me. But I do not have to stay destroyed. A slow smile crossed Adrian's face. That is the spirit. But I must warn you. The path to strength is not easy. It will hurt. You will want to quit. I have already survived the worst pain, Isabella said. What more can hurt me? We will see, Adrian said. If you truly want this, we start tomorrow at dawn. That night, Isabella lay in bed thinking. Marcus and her family thought they had destroyed her. They thought she would disappear. Fade away into nothing. But they were wrong. She would not disappear. She would transform. She would become someone they never expected. And one day she would make them regret everything. ### Part 2. Rising from the flames. ### Adrian's secret past. 2 months passed. Isabella woke before dawn every day. Adrian trained her hard. Not just physical strength but mental strength too. He taught her to read people. To understand manipulation. To see lies before they hurt her. One morning, Isabella asked the question that had been burning in her mind. Adrian, who were you before you became a blacksmith? Adrian was sharpening a sword. His hands paused. Why do you ask? Because you fight like a soldier. You speak like a nobleman. You know things that simple blacksmiths do not know. Adrian set down the sword. You are observant. That is good. He was quiet for a moment. I was Duke Adrian Blackwood, third in line to the throne. Isabella's eyes widened. A duke? But how did you end up here? Betrayal, Adrian said simply. My brother wanted my title. He framed me for treason. Said I was plotting against the king. I was not. But he had false evidence. Paid witnesses. The king believed him. What happened? I was sentenced to death, Adrian said. But my younger sister helped me escape. I have been hiding here for 5 years. If anyone discovers who I am, I will be executed. Isabella felt a strange connection to Adrian. We are the same. Both betrayed by family. Both left with nothing. Yes, Adrian said. That is why I understand your pain. And why I can help you become stronger. Do you ever think about revenge? Isabella asked carefully. Adrian's jaw tightened. Every day. But revenge is a poison. It eats you from inside. I have learned to let go. I do not think I can let go, Isabella whispered. They deserve to pay. Adrian looked at her seriously. Revenge is a dangerous path, Isabella. Once you start walking it, it is hard to turn back. Then I will walk it anyway, Isabella said with determination. ### transformation begins. Isabella threw herself into training. Adrian taught her self-defense. How to read body language. How to speak with authority. How to dress to command respect. He taught her about business and money. About politics and power. Knowledge is power, Adrian said. And you need power if you want to face your enemies. Isabella studied late into the night. She read books on psychology and strategy. She learned how wealthy people thought. How they moved. How they spoke. She practiced until her accent changed. Until her posture straightened. Until she looked like a different person. She cut her long brown hair short. It made her look sharper. More dangerous. She stopped wearing soft colors. Instead, she wore black and deep red. Colors of power. Adrian watched her transformation with mixed feelings. You are changing quickly, he said one evening. That is the point, Isabella said. I am not that broken girl anymore. Just be careful, Adrian warned. Do not lose yourself in the desire for revenge. Do not become like them. But Isabella was not listening. Every night she imagined facing Marcus. Facing her family. Watching them realize their mistake. ### discovery of Marcus's crimes. 3 months into her training, Isabella made a discovery. She was in town buying supplies. She overheard 2 merchants talking. Did you hear about Marcus Thornfield? One said. No, what about him? He is cheating his business partners. Taking their money and disappearing. 3 families have been ruined so far. Isabella's ears perked up. She moved closer. And that is not all, the second merchant continued. I heard he is engaged to some girl named Victoria. But he is also seeing 2 other women on the side. Isabella felt cold anger fill her chest. Marcus was still destroying people. Her sister was about to marry a monster. And Victoria had no idea. She hurried back to Adrian's house. Adrian, I need your help. What is wrong? He asked, seeing her face. Isabella told him what she had heard. Marcus is a criminal. He is stealing from people. We need to expose him. Adrian shook his head. Isabella, this is not your fight anymore. You left that life behind. But innocent people are being hurt, Isabella argued. I cannot just ignore that. Why do you really want to expose him? Adrian asked quietly. Is it to save innocent people? Or is it to hurt him? Isabella was honest. Both. Adrian sighed. If you are going to do this, do it smart. Do not go rushing in. We need evidence. Real evidence. How do we get that? Adrian thought for a moment. I still have contacts from my old life. People who owe me favors. Let me make some inquiries. ### the investigation. Over the next few weeks, Adrian and Isabella investigated Marcus carefully. They discovered he was running a scheme. He would approach struggling businesses, offer to invest, then slowly steal their money and assets. By the time the victims realized what happened, Marcus had moved on. He is smart, Adrian admitted. He targets people who are desperate, people who will not question him. How many victims? Isabella asked. At least 10 that we know of. Maybe more. Isabella felt sick. All those families ruined. All because of Marcus's greed. We need to stop him. We need proof that will hold up in court, Adrian said. Otherwise, he will just deny everything. They worked together. Adrian used his old contacts to get documents. Isabella used her new skills to talk to victims. Slowly they built a case. They had bank records, witness testimonies, contracts that proved Marcus's fraud. This is enough, Adrian said finally. We can take this to the authorities. But Isabella had a different idea. No. I want to confront him myself. Isabella, that is dangerous. I need to do this, Adrian. I need him to see that I am not dead. That I survived. That I am stronger than he ever thought possible. Adrian looked worried. And what about your family? Your sister? Victoria made her choice, Isabella said coldly. She betrayed me. She deserves whatever happens. But deep inside, a small part of Isabella still hurt. Despite everything, Victoria was still her sister. #### the growing bond. As they worked together, Isabella and Adrian grew closer. It started small. Shared jokes. Comfortable silences. The way Adrian made coffee exactly how Isabella liked it. The way Isabella knew when Adrian needed space. One evening, they sat by the fire after a long day of investigation. "Thank you," Isabella said suddenly. "For what?" Adrian asked. "For saving me. For training me. For believing I could be more than a broken girl." Adrian looked at her. Really looked. "You saved yourself, Isabella. I just gave you tools. You did the hard work." Their eyes met. Something passed between them. Something warm and frightening and wonderful. Isabella felt her heartbeat faster. This was different from what she felt for Marcus. That had been shallow infatuation. This was real. "Adrian," she whispered. He leaned closer. "Isabella, I." A loud knock on the door interrupted them. They jumped apart. Adrian went to answer it. A messenger stood there, rain-soaked and nervous. "Message for Adrian Blackwood," the boy said. Adrian took the letter. Paid the boy. Closed the door. He opened the letter and his face went pale. "What is it?" Isabella asked. "My brother," Adrian said. "He is coming to this city. In 3 days. With soldiers. Someone told him I might be here." Isabella felt cold fear. "What do we do?" "I have to leave," Adrian said. "If I stay, I will be captured. Executed." "No," Isabella said firmly. "We fight. Together." Adrian shook his head. "Isabella, you do not understand. These are trained soldiers. We cannot fight them." "Then we outsmart them," Isabella said. "You taught me to think strategically. Let us use that." Adrian looked at her with wonder and fear. "You would risk your life for me?" "You risked yours for me," Isabella said simply. "That is what people who care about each other do." Adrian pulled her into his arms. Held her tight. "I cannot lose you," he whispered. "You will not," Isabella promised. "We will win. Both battles. Against your brother and against Marcus." ####, planning the confrontation. They spent the next 2 days planning carefully. Adrian would hide his identity. Change his appearance. Isabella would use her new skills to misdirect the soldiers. Meanwhile, they would also prepare to confront Marcus. "We can do both at the same time," Isabella realized. "Marcus's wedding to Victoria is in 4 days. Your brother arrives in 3. What if we use the wedding as cover?" Adrian's eyes lit up. "You are brilliant. Large crowds. Chaos. Easy to disappear in. And Marcus will be distracted," Isabella added. "Focused on the wedding. He will not expect me." They refined their plan. Isabella would attend the wedding in disguise. She would confront Marcus publicly with the evidence. While everyone was distracted, Adrian would handle the soldiers. Then they would both escape together. "It is risky," Adrian warned. "Everything worth doing is risky," Isabella said. The night before the wedding, Isabella could not sleep. So much could go wrong. But she also felt alive for the first time in months. She had purpose. She had someone who believed in her. She had Adrian. She found him sitting outside, looking at the stars. "Cannot sleep either?" she asked. "Too much on my mind," he admitted. Isabella sat beside him. "Adrian, what happens after? After we do this? After we win?" "I do not know," Adrian said honestly. "Maybe I can finally stop running. Maybe I can clear my name. Start over properly." "Would you want to go back to being a duke?" Isabella asked. Adrian thought about it. "No. I like this life. Simple. Honest. Meaningful." He looked at her. "Especially with you in it." Isabella's heart swelled. "Adrian, I love you," Adrian said suddenly. "I did not plan to. I did not want to. But I do. I love you, Isabella." Tears filled Isabella's eyes. Happy tears this time. "I love you too." They kissed under the stars. Not a perfect kiss. Not a fairy tale kiss. But a real kiss. Full of hope and fear and promise. Tomorrow they would face their enemies. But tonight they had each other. Part 3. The Fire of Justice. The wedding day returns. Isabella stood outside the same church where her life had shattered 4 months ago. Today was Victoria's wedding to Marcus. The church was decorated with white roses and gold ribbons. Expensive. Perfect. Fake. Isabella wore a deep red dress. Her short hair was styled elegantly. Dark makeup made her look older, more sophisticated. No one would recognize the broken girl from 4 months ago. She had transformed completely. Adrian stood beside her, dressed as a merchant. His hair was dyed lighter. Fake glasses covered his eyes. A false beard hid his scar. "Ready," he whispered. "Ready," Isabella confirmed. They entered with the crowd. The church was full. Isabella saw her parents sitting in the front row. Her mother wore blue silk. Her father wore his best suit. They looked happy, proud, completely unaware that their lives were about to change. Victoria stood at the altar in a white dress, much fancier than the one Isabella had worn. Marcus stood beside her looking handsome and confident, like a man who had won everything. The priest began the ceremony. Isabella waited. Timing was everything. She watched the church doors. Adrian's contacts were supposed to arrive soon. Soldiers looking for him. They needed to use the chaos perfectly. If anyone objects to this union, speak now or forever hold your peace. This time Isabella stood up. "I object." The confrontation begins. The church went silent. Every head turned. Victoria's face went pale. Marcus looked confused. Then recognition hit him. His eyes widened. "Isabella," he whispered. "Hello, Marcus," Isabella said calmly. Her voice carried through the church. Strong. Clear. Nothing like the weak girl he remembered. "Did you miss me?" "You are supposed to be dead," Victoria gasped. "Sorry to disappoint," Isabella said, walking down the aisle. People moved away from her. Whispered. Stared. "But I survived. In fact, I thrived." Her mother stood up. "Isabella, how dare you crash your sister's wedding?" "How dare I?" Isabella laughed. It was not a kind laugh. "How dare all of you? You threw me away like garbage. Left me to die. And why? Because you thought I was not good enough." Her father's face turned red. "Security. Remove this woman." "I would not do that," Isabella said calmly. She pulled out a folder from her bag. "Unless you want everyone here to know the truth about Marcus Thornfield." Marcus's face lost its color. "I do not know what you are talking about." "No." Isabella opened the folder. "Then let me refresh your memory. 10 families ruined in the past year. Millions stolen. Fraud. Embezzlement. Should I continue?" The crowd gasped. Victoria looked at Marcus. "What is she talking about?" "She is lying," Marcus said quickly. "She is crazy. Obsessed with me. This is revenge for rejecting her." "Is it?" Isabella pulled out documents. Started reading names. The Morrison family. The Chun family. The Rodriguez family. All invested with you. All lost everything. I have bank records. I have contracts. I have witnesses." Marcus lunged forward. "Give me those." But Adrian stepped between them. Fast as lightning. He caught Marcus's wrist and twisted. Marcus cried out in pain. "Touch her again," Adrian said quietly, dangerously, "and I will break your arm." "Who are you?" Marcus demanded. "Someone who protects people from predators like you," Adrian said. The truth exposed. Isabella continued. "But that is not all. Victoria, did you know Marcus is engaged to 2 other women besides you? That he has been stealing money from your father's business too?" Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "Marcus, tell me she is lying." Marcus said nothing. His silence was confession enough. "I trusted you," Victoria whispered. "I loved you." "Love." Marcus laughed cruelly. "You were just another Mark, Victoria. Just another stupid girl who believed my lies." Victoria slapped him. Hard. The sound echoed through the church. You monster. Isabella almost felt sorry for her sister. Almost. But then she remembered Victoria laughing at her humiliation. Victoria plotting with Marcus. Some of this pain was deserved. Call the police. Someone in the crowd shouted. Call them now. Marcus realized he was trapped. He looked around wildly. Saw the doors. Ran. He pushed people aside. Knocked over chairs. Sprinted for the exit. But waiting outside were officers. Adrian had arranged it. They grabbed Marcus immediately. Handcuffs clicked into place. No. Marcus screamed. You cannot do this. Do you know who I am? A criminal, the lead officer said.